I wasn't supposed to be crying. Thank you for all those words. Jeff, thank you for leaving the holy land of the Upper West Side of New York to be here for this. To begin with, I need to make a clarification. I am rightfully the co-founder of the Institute of Jewish Knowledge and Learning. IJKL was founded together with Rabbi Akiva D. Mann, now of blessed memory. But truthfully, I don't feel like co-founder either really explains the actual creation of IJKL. IJKL grew organically after Rabbi Akiva suggested that we create a Jewish Educational Institute. What I knew about creating a 501c3, I don't know why he had the faith in me that that could happen, but I wanted to take classes with him. We incorporated as the Institute of Jewish Knowledge and Learning scheduled classes, and then I began to seek people that wanted to take classes with him. Maybe sometimes there was a little coercion involved. I look out and I know that it wasn't necessarily on the top of your mind that this was something that you wanted to do. I would meet teachers outside of Florida, and if I connected with them, I wanted to introduce them to my Rebbe. For instance, on a Belton Israel seminar, Zohar Raviv was my seminar leader. And I knew that I wanted him to meet Rabbi Akiva. When I returned to Florida and I told Rabbi Akiva about Zohar, we thought, why not create Shabbaton to bring him here? And from that idea and meeting, our Israel journeys were born. I met Rabbi David Ingber of Romamu at a retreat, and the IJKL Sunshine Shabbaton was born. And of course, we have Torah study with Rav Jeff. But it might come as a surprise to know that I was not raised in an observant Jewish family, but rather a very secular, culturally strong family. And yes, I grew up on Long Island, but we didn't live in a Jewish neighborhood, and we didn't belong to a synagogue. But somehow I knew that I was Jewish. Maybe because my mother really made it a point that I was supposed to marry a nice Jewish boy. And I did. But somehow I knew nothing about Judaism. And then one day, about 30 years ago, my husband announces that Temple Colony is having an open house on Sunday, and that we were going. It came so far out of left field that I said to him, when did you get to be such a religious fanatic? You want to join a temple? And the next thing I knew, our 4-year-old and 6-year-old daughters, Hannah and Molly, were enrolled in the Temple Colony Religious School. And as long as we were members, I started going to Shabbat morning Torah study. And then I realized that I needed to learn Aleph Bet if I wanted to understand the subtle insights of the Torah. So this, of course, led to an adult bat mitzvah, obviously. And then I became the sisterhood co-chair of programming. But I still hadn't found what I was looking for. The sisterhood board agreed that they wanted me to find a spiritual program for the next meeting. And so then, I happened upon is code in Hasidic stories that means a miracle happened. I happened upon Rabbi Akiva Mann of blessed memory, and Rabbi Akiva was the rabbi of the Hallandale Jewish Center. I remember sitting in his office, and as he sat silently across from me, listening deeply into the words that I said, as well as the words that I didn't know to ask. And to those of you who have the blessing of sitting across from him, you know exactly what I mean. But finally, he looked at me, saying that I was not the first person to feel this knocking upon my heart. And I didn't even know that it was a knocking upon my heart that I was feeling until the minute he said it, and I knew exactly what he said, what he meant, and what he saw. And he explained to me that the great sages, masters, mystics, and rabbis had come before us and placed guideposts along the way for us to follow. He said that he would show me these guideposts to help me find my own way. And it turns out that I am not the only one that hears this knocking. It turns out that there are a lot of us. And for 26 years, IJKL has been offering insights and directions to these guideposts. And along the way, we built a community of students and seekers, friends and companions on the journey. I tried to make a bullet point of the most important guideposts that I could share these with you, but the list just kept getting longer and longer. And then each bullet point was a four-part course. And if we took classes with Rabbi Akiva, a four-part course was actually 6-part, 8-part. Each part had a life of its own. So instead of giving you a long list, I decided to approach this by sharing some of my personal experiences. I learned that it is possible to bring transcendence into my relationships with family, friends, the world, and in nature. Transcendence feels like you are beyond yourself. Transcendence is the feeling of holding a grandchild. Transcendence is the feeling of experiencing the Grand Canyon. And then Rabbi Akiva taught us to be able to translate and recognize this feeling and own it on an average Tuesday. Ellie is here, his son. Did you ever hear him talk about the average Tuesday? Maybe once? Rabbi Akiva said all the time, the essence of a person is the spark of the divine. Mamish. And he embodied that truth in every way. Watching him was a lesson in how to give someone your undivided attention and deepest compassion. He showed us what it meant to be humble, and in all the time I knew him, I never saw him angry. Rabbi Akiva opened a spiritual path into Judaism for me, one that allowed me to answer the knocking upon my heart with joy. His teachings continue to guide me and help me live with more presence and fulfillment. And IJKL is the proof that I am not the only one. Over the years, IJKL has gone through times of growth and transformation. In 2017, Arnie, is that right? 2017? More or less? We never know these things. Rabbi Arnie Salmon, now the Chief Jewish Education Officer of the Broward Federation, invited IJKL to assume the leadership of the Stage Adult Education Program. With this new role, IJKL became the official provider of adult education in Broward County, expanding our faculty and programming both in size and diversity. It's the IJKL faculty and the students that make IJKL so exceptional and so inspirational. And then came the COVID years. Even as lockdown was just beginning, IJKL pivoted to Zoom, teaching our community how to sign in and to navigate the platform, many of whom might have identified as technophobes. And we brought all of them into the Zoom world, and I'm so proud of that offering. We introduced our Class Pass program, offering access to more than 15 classes a week. Our classes range from Kabbalah and mysticism to armchair travel through Prague and Morocco, and of course the Sunday night IJKL prayer room with student Rabbi Laura Linus. And thank you for the opening. Laura moved mountains to be here to share in this. Each morning, we eagerly checked the morning report to see what was going to be on IJKL TV for the day. Our Zoom programming not only saved many of us from fear, anxiety, and boredom, but kept us connected in a way that was deeply meaningful and loving. And through Zoom, we fell in love with Karen Cohen in Louisville, who serves as an IJKL ambassador, and I am always grateful for that. I plan to take my emeritus status very seriously and will work very closely with Rabbi Mark to keep planning great, okay, just checking, I'm sorry. Very seriously, to keep planning great learning and spiritual experiences for us. I will be more and more going back and forth to California, but Kol Ami is my home synagogue, and Zoom crosses the country as if we're next door. I cannot imagine a better home for IJKL than here at Temple Kol Ami in Emmanuel, where I began my Jewish journey. When Rabbi Ori became the senior rabbi here, it was immediately clear that his commitment to adult education and his passion for teaching would be the cornerstone of all TKAE programming. His enthusiasm for all that IJKL offered was evident from the start, and it's been such a privilege to see our shared passion for learning come to life in this community. I'm frequently asked, how do I feel about giving up IJKL? Putting it up for adoption. Jim, they say, it's your baby. But Rabbi Mark, working with you to organize the leadership transition and this amazing speed learning event has been such a pleasure and a reassurance that this is truly a match made in heaven for the sake of heaven. I have perfect faith that with you and Rabbi Ori leading the way, IJKL's legacy will not only continue to grow, but it will thrive and it will flourish. I am so proud and grateful that I have had the gift to work with and to love the IJKL faculty, Rabbi David Paskin, Rabbi Jeffrey Siegelman, Dr. Sandra Lilienthal, and Rabbi Amy Pesa. Don't forget to be signing up for their classes. There are in-person classes and there are Zoom classes. Be in touch with the temple if you don't have the brochure. It is truly wonderful that they are all going to remain with IJKL as we add Rabbi Ori and Rabbi Mark to the teaching programs. But so much to my precious family. I know that it may have felt at times like I was always immersed in IJKL. And truthfully, there were many times that was true. But Barry, Hannah, and Molly, I can only hope that my love of learning and the wisdom that I have pursued has in some way enriched your lives too. You supported me every step of the way, and I love you beyond measure. Adult education at TKAE, powered by IJKL, mamish, it's a gewalt. Okay.
And now is the moment of transition. And when we finish Shabbat, we do the Havdalah. And if we do not do it Saturday night, we have until Tuesday night to do it. So some of you did not do Havdalah this week, who haven't done Havdalah yet. So this is time to do the Havdalah to mark the transition of Shabbat to the rest of the week, of IJBL under King's leadership to Temple Kol Ami Emmanuel under the guidance of Rabbi Mark and myself and all of you. And usually between what is holy the Shabbat and what is profane the rest of the week. And we are going to say these words, but this transition is being Kodesh to Kodesh, from something holy to something holy. So I will invite Mike. You see that light that is over there? The light, the little light? Turn it off. Let's see if it works. Oh, try others. Let's see when we are able to turn off the light. Oh, good. We're doing progress. Please rise, and I will invite Rabbi Jeff